Hello everyone, greetings of the day. Welcome you all for the 21st video of learning Swift programming language. These are the topic that we have covered previously from video 1 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 12, 13 to 18 and 19th and 20. Let's move towards the today's topic. The first topic that we are going to learn is connecting a physical device with the Xcode. So till date, in order to run our applications, we are using the simulator. There are some restrictions with using the simulators over the physical device. The thing is, if we want to test for any GPS related data or sensor things and all, physical devices will be far better than the simulators. So let's see how to connect this. For that, we need to have a physical device and connecting cable need to be there. So the latest iPhones are coming with the C type. So if you have the C to C, that is the MacBook will mostly having the C type. So need to connect the C type with the MacBook and C to the iPhone if it is a latest phone, or else you need to have a converter C to USB. So after connecting that converter to the MacBook, you can connect your lightning charger. That is the old iPhones will be having a charging cable. Will be one side lightning will be the other side USB will be the. That USB you can connect it to this converter and lightning to the iPhone. Once after connecting to the MacBook, we need to go to the Xcode. In iPhone, it will be asking it is trustable or not. You can give the trust. After reaching the Xcode, you can go to the Windows and devices and simulators. So here you will be having simulators and devices. So this is the phone I have connected already, so that I'm getting here, or else once you have connecting now, it will reach here and you need to select this connect via network, because this is the only first time you will be connecting with the cable. After that, we the iPhone and the MacBook need to be on the same Wi-Fi. If that is the case, automatically this will get connected. After checking this, you can give for connect. So the connection will be done here. After that, you can go and cross check here. So for running the application, we are selecting the simulators, right? Here in the iOS device, you will be having the connected device. After selecting here, you can go for run. So now your application will be automatically installed to the iPhone and you can use it. So while you have doing any clicks or whatever the things, you can instantly get the console here. So this is about the connecting a physical device with Xcode. After you have installed the application in iPhone, if you click on the application, sometimes you'll get the pop-up as could not launch. Some errors it will be show. So in that case, you need to mention that this is a believable application to run in my iPhone. For that, you need to go for the trust. That is, you need to click on the VPN and device management. Inside the VPN and device management, you will be showing the your application like I have shown in the fifth one, and then you can click on the trust. If you have trusted and click on that, after this you can able to run your application in iPhone. The next topic that we are going to learn is about the third party libraries. Third party library means it is a ready-made solution available for some functionalities. We can use it directly into our code. It will help us to save time, code quality, and more to focus on our unique requirements. See, this is how our Xcode project will look like before incorporating with the pods. So the third-party libraries examples are SwiftJSON, FS Calendar, Dropdown, Google Maps, and many more other. There are so many ways to adapt third-party libraries into our Xcode project. The first major way is the Swift Package Manager, and mostly we are using with the CocoaPods because Swift Package Manager is the authorized of the Xcode, but most of the functionalities are still not available with this package. So that's why we are depending on the CocoaPods. So I will explain about only these two methods. Other methods you can search and find it out. To install third-party library with the Swift package manager, we can go with the file and add package dependencies. So here we can search what all the packages you have been required. It will find it out and you can simply add the packages here. So this is a straightforward method provided by the Xcode in order to add the third-party libraries. If some of the libraries are not available here, we can go with the CocoaPods. So I will explain how to do this in CocoaPods. We need to open the terminal first. For that, command spacebar. We can just search for terminal and we will get the terminal window here. So this is the folder I have in desktop where I want to add the pods. So I need to find the location, cd space, just drag it here. If I click enter, the folder I am is in the Office app. After that, I need to go with these steps. Sudo gem install CocoaPods. I have already installed the CocoaPods, so I am not going with this step now. Directly you can go with the pod init. So initially you are creating a pod file. So once this has been done, you'll be having a pod file inside this Office app folder. When I open this folder, you can see pod file here. So we are now going to open this. So this is the pod file we have created now, and we can add whatever the pods we are needed. Before installing the pod, if I try to import any pod file, it will hit with an error. No such module Swifty.json is available here. So I'll explain how to do this now. So this is the pod file we have created. Here whatever the pod, we can mention it like this. You need to mention as pod. P need to be small letter. After that we need to mention the pod name. This is not mandatory. This is to mention the versions of the pods that we are entering. So after saving this, we can go with the pod installed. Here the pod is now installed. Now we can close the application and reopen the Xcode project. Initially, before having these pods, we are opened the Xcode projects by double clicking this Xcode pods. Now after having these pods, we need to go with this white color, that is XC workspace. Now we can see that we are having Office app and pods in separate. If I try to import this Swifty.json again, it won't hit with an error because we already installed this pod using the CocoaPods. So this is about the third-party library. The next topic that we are going to learn is user defaults and keychain. The user defaults and keychain in Xcode are two common ways to store data securely on an iOS device. That is, this can be used as a common storage. We can define it in one place and use in all classes of our Xcode project. So here I have explained about the user defaults first. User defaults, it's best for small simple pieces of data. See, this is the place we are initializing the user defaults value. Let defaults equal to user defaults dot standard, and we are setting some value for key. So this is the key. Using this key we can store the data and afterwards we can retrieve the same data. So here I have mentioned about the storing the data. So this storing we can happen in any of the files, and after that we can retrieve the data in whatever the classes we have required. The value will be common for all. So here I am retrieving the data. The syntax is defaults.string for key. So this key we have used for storing it, the same key we are used for retrieving, and while we print we'll get the value as this some value. So after our usage of this has been completed, we can remove it using this syntax. So this is about the user default. The main functionality of this is storing in one place and using in the all other classes. So the common place we can store it, and that unique value we can use it in everywhere. So this is about the user defaults. Keychain also serves the same purpose of user defaults, but here we'll be using the sensitive data like passwords, API tokens, like that. But as like user defaults, we cannot use in a straightforward way. We need to initially install this pod. So after adding this pod, we need to import it. After that, we can store, retrieve and remove. This is the similar method as of user defaults. This is the syntax for storing it. So this is the key we have used and this is the value, and using this key again we can retrieve here. After the usage, if we want to remove means you can remove this using this syntax. So this is about the user defaults and keychain. The next topic that we are going to see is adding attributes to strings. Attributes is nothing but the stylings. So this can be added in two ways. One is the storyboard and the other one is programmatically. In storyboards, we are having some limitations to add these stylings. That is, when it comes to the complex text attribute like paragraph styling and all, it will be more easier when it do from the programmatic side. Also, if we are providing it for a static content, it will be fine. But if we are based on some user interaction, that is on button clicks, we need to change some fonts, in that cases and all programmatically will be best. So here I have explained about the examples of using attributes. So initially this is the string we need to add for stylings, and after that this is the range we have explained here. So we can specify in what range we need to add the styling. This and all is not possible with the storyboard side, because in storyboard side we will be styling the text view or UI labels, not the string directly, but in the code we are styling the strings directly. Here we are adding the foreground color, font, underline, background colors, paragraph styles and everything we have been added in prior, and after that we can add that string to the label. So this is about the adding attributes to strings. The next topic that we are going to see is debugging code. This is the most important topic in learning iOS, because we will be debugging the code for a lot of scenarios. That is, we may stuck with an error, or we need to understand some other's code, or we need to do an enhancement on the project that already done. So in these cases and all, we need to debug and understand the existing code. So let's see how to do that. There are a lot of ways to do the debugging. The most important one is the using breakpoints. In order to add the breakpoints, we need to understand that in iOS every project will be running in a sequential way. That is, we'll be entering the first page and we'll move to the second one and the third one, like that. So if we are stuck with an error with some word, we can actually use this breakpoint to understand that from which point actually the error is triggering. So in order to add the breakpoints, you can see the numbers here, right? You can just click on that numbers. So it will be turning into a blue color like this. So that means you have added a breakpoint. So like this, you can add more number of breakpoints wherever you have been required. And if you want to remove all the breakpoints, you can just click here. This will remove overall breakpoints from your projects. And if you have multiple breakpoints, you can move from when you run the project, in the first breakpoint it will hit and stop your code. So if it is an breakpoint that you have kept it and no errors has been triggered, means it will be showing in you a green color. or else it will be showing in a red color. So after that you can use these methods to continue your program, so that it will stuck in the second breakpoint you have kept, or else it will stuck with the next error. So like that you can use the breakpoints and debug your code and understand where the exact error is. The next method for debugging is logging and assertion. In this we can use multiple print statements and find out that in our console where the exact error is happening. As well as we can add more conditions to our code whether the expected result is coming or not. Using the assertion we can do that. This is the second way of debugging our code. The third way is view debugging. That is, if we have any error stuck with our UI, we can use this view debugging. That is, we know that each view have different layers. See, each view is set up on a different layer, so we can understand that where our exact error is happening with the UI, and we can check and find it out what causes the issue. So there are more ways of debugging a code, like you can add the unit testing, debug navigator, or instruments. So this is the basic understanding of debugging a code. The next topic that we are going to see is instruments. This is a ready-made solution available along with the Xcode in order to profile our application. This is a kind of advanced topic, but as an iOS developer, we need to know what the instruments are. This will help our application to improve in efficiency. So as I said, the instrument is responsible for profiling our application. So what is this profiling? Profiling is the term used when we monitor the performance, memory usage, and other informations with the aim of improving efficiency. So for that we term as profiling. There are a lot of instruments are there. In order to get the instruments, you can go for command I. So you will be reaching here. So these are the instruments available here. So in this I'm going to explain only the three items, that is the time profile, leaks, and then the allocations. So in the overall in-depth topic I'm not going, so I just explaining on the top level. So time profile. So when we run the time profile over our application, it will show us which is the heaviest stack that took most of the time to run. So we can identify in which places our application is taking more time. So we can focus on that area and we can do changes in order to run our application more fastly. So that's the main usage of this time profiler, because in some of the task and all we'll be doing in the main thread itself. So in that cases we can use the help of background threads to run the time consuming applications, so that our application will get more faster experience for the users. The next one instrument is allocations. This allocations will tell us how many objects we have been created and what is their scenario now. This will mainly useful in the case of table views, because in the table views and all we'll be using the reusable cell. But if we forget to use the reusable cell, every time when we scroll down our table view, each time new cells will be created, so that every time this transient will be loaded. That is, if we scroll our table views, new cells will be created again and again. So this will cause more memory to use our application and it will get slows down whenever we scroll down. So in order to identify that, we can use the allocation. So the best method while using the table view is using the DQ reusable cell, so that whenever we scroll down we'll be using the duplicating the existing cell again and again. So that is the purpose of this allocations instrument. The third one is leaks. So if we have created any strong reference cycle of an object, so whenever we open the screens, second or third screens, and we come back to the previous screen, it need to be deallocated. that is that screen need to be destroyed. But if we have a strong reference cycles, that screens will retain the, and it causes a memory leak. So that's why if we have multiple screen applications and we didn't maintain this memory properly, it causes hanging our application. So with the help of this leaks instrument, we can identify and remove the strong reference cycles, and once the object has been used, we can able to safely destroy it, and it will help to improve our application's performance. So this is the main usage of instruments. With this, we have covered most of the important topics in Swift and wrapping the session for today. Thank you.